All right, welcome back to the Bordas and Bordas hotline of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani, Ron Cook here at 412-575-2600. Yesterday, Jim Rutherford, and you know how he operates, he's going to make deals no matter what. When they win, he changed the roster to some degree. When they lose, he certainly will. However, he has a lot of people under contract already. He doesn't necessarily need to do a lot. However, he went out, Ron, yesterday and said that he expects that you're going to see Daniel Sprong as a regular in their lineup starting early and often, which then means somebody, if you keep everyone the way they are, somebody's going to lose a job. So there's going to be a trade. So most likely, what situation to you will exist?
Hagelin's going into the last year. His deal, he's a $4 million a year guy. I don't know what they're going to do with Kessel. I don't think they can move him because his contract is so long and worth so much money. Usually you find places for guys who deserve it. But it's one thing for the GM to say it. I don't know that the coach feels that way. He just doesn't seem to be solidly in Sprong's corner. He'll admit that Sprong can score some goals, but he wants a two-way player. We'll see if that guy can be it for Mike Sullivan. But you have ways of finding good players get into the lineup somehow. I think if they really like him, they'll find a way for him.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting offseason, to say the least. There's going to be a lot of movement there, you would think. Let's go to Mark in the North Hills. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, guys, great show. I like the Cavaliers and I like the Warriors out west.
Again?
But, yeah. My theory is, what was the deal with, I know Ron wrote about it in the paper, Dominic Simone. What was he even doing on the roster? If you guys can clarify that. Thank you.
I thought liked him.
Yeah, but you know what? If Mike Sullivan likes you.
He plays with a broken thumb, he said.
Yeah,
after.
but he shouldn't be on the first line, sorry. I think they screwed up by taking Hornquist off that line. They should have kept him on that line. And
they tried to get more lines going, and it worked the one game, but not game 5 and 6. I don't know. He seems to like Simone. The kid was playing with a broken thumb. He had the real bad penalty in the one game, which I thought was a real turnaround for the Penguins. It really hurt them. I didn't think he was going to play as much as he did, but the coach likes him.
Yeah, and when the coach doesn't like you, you fall into what was the situation with Ian Cole, for example. So, but Dominic Simone is a good hockey player, but I don't think he right now deserves to be on the top line. I think you have other guys who are better equipped to handle that, at least in my opinion. Tony in Elwood City. What's up, Tony? How are you?
Hi, guys. First of all, I enjoy the show.
Thanks.
I'm always on the same page with you guys, especially Ron. My concern, guys, is Steeler draft. There was 4 first-round projected linebackers available to the Steelers, and as they were getting picked over, why wouldn't they move up and let take the Evans?
I think they tried to, and I would have. Okay. But I don't, you don't know what the inner workings on those.
I think they felt like they had to give up too much to get them, and they covet those draft choices, and I think they definitely looked at it. Who was the kid from Georgia? Was it Smith?
Yeah.
He went to the Bears, pretty high, but I heard they really liked him, but would have cost them a fortune to move. Where I think he was picked 8th, would have cost them a fortune to move up that high.
Yeah.
And they felt like they had more needs than just that one.
Well, when was Evans picked? He was picked 8th.
He picked like
Tennessee.
23rd or 22nd.
Okay, so that's 5.
Tennessee guy.
How much would it cost you to move up 5 spots?
Probably a couple picks. I don't know.
Yeah. The only problem was Baltimore picked him, and Baltimore wasn't going to give up any picks to the Steelers to help them in their cause. But thank you. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Sam in New Bethlehem. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Good. Thanks for taking my call, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I just wanted to second what you said about Brad Stevens. What this guy did with a team that was shorthanded a lot of the year with injuries is just unbelievable. And I just find it incredulous that he wouldn't get a vote for Coach of the Year. Just as ridiculous.
I just can't figure it out at all, especially when Gordon Hayward in the first game of the year rips up his leg the way he did. One of the best things I've ever seen. And then Kyrie Irving. They went into the season, people said those 2 guys are the reason Boston will win an NBA championship or get to the finals. Those 2 guys were not even part of it for the last 3 weeks, and now all of the postseason, and here they are. And he mixes and matches and gets the most out of guys you would never suspect, Ron. So to me, it's a grave injustice.
So are you picking Boston?
Boston and Golden State, with Golden State winning again.
It'll be 3 and 4 years.
Yeah.
That's a dynasty.
And Kevin Durant may look for another team, too, at some point. These guys control their own.
Well, this NBA drama is just getting to me. It's just getting to
I
me.
bet it is. All right, let's go to Eddie in Washington. Hey, Eddie, how you doing?
Hey, Bob, Ron.
What's up?
I love your show.
Thanks.
I want to give kudos to the Pittsburgh women's softball team today. They were down 4-1 in the bottom of 7th. The girl hits a grand slam. They win it. Well, I got another one. It was 4-2, made it 6-4.
Wow, that's pretty dramatic. I heard about it, but I didn't know it came down to that.
Yeah, they only had one hit to the 6th inning. They got a run in the bottom of 6th. And that girl hit a grand slam in the bottom of 7th and won it 6-4. And they move on to the semifinals.
Well, congratulations to Pitt women's softball. We appreciate your update. Thank you very much for that. We're due for a break. We'll be right back.